Hello and welcome. Let's start with the crisis facing South Africa. US President Donald Trump has slapped 30% tariffs on Africa's biggest economy. These tariffs are the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. The Ramaphosa government is trying to appease Trump, but the US president is not ready to soften his stance. The stakes remain high for South Africa. Trump's tariffs will potentially hit 30,000 jobs in a country where the unemployment rate is over 33%. It's clear that the Ramaphosa government cannot afford to give up. And keeping up with the old saying of try until you succeed, South Africa has prepared a new trade deal for the US. Details of the new offer are not known yet. However, the Ramaphosa government has hinted at increasing imports of US poultry, blueberries and pork. Pretoria remains determined to explain to Trump that South African exports are not a threat to US production. The US is South Africa's third largest trading partner after the European Union and China. However, South African exports account for only 0.25% of the total US imports. South Africa is trying to reason with Trump, a strategy which has rarely worked with the US president. Trump is not happy with South Africa's domestic and international policies. Trump has accused the Ramaphosa government of discriminating against the white people with policies like the Land Expropriation Act and the Black Economic Empowerment Act. The US president is also irked by South Africa's genocide case against America's ally Israel. And one of his biggest issues remains South Africa's BRICS membership. Now, Washington has also accused Pretoria of abusing racial minorities in its recently released human rights report. The Ramaphosa government has slammed the report as deeply flawed and has repeatedly denied Trump's charges. South Africa is not only facing external pressure from Trump, but also internal conflict. The second biggest party in South Africa's coalition government, the Democratic Alliance, thinks that US tariffs are likely to remain until and unless the government changes some of its domestic race policies.
The issues the Trump administration has are not isolated to trade. There are geopolitical issues that they have flagged, and there are domestic issues in South Africa that they flagged. And it is very clear that while we've been negotiating on a trade track, the issues with the Trump administration are deeper than that. And these cover things like what we spoke about today in my press conference, expropriation without compensation. It deals with some of the labor laws in the country and racial legislation. But there are also broader geopolitical issues, BRICS, trade with other countries that the US regard as a threat, China and Russia, and Brazil. And these are obviously issues that are going to continue to be a problem.
While the DA has hinted at some changes in South Africa's racial policies, President Ramaphosa-led African National Congress is not likely to do it. And here's the reason. Ramaphosa's party, the ANC, swept to power in 1994 on the back of its success in ending racist white minority rule, which is why it is logical for the ANC to not change its flagship policy. Despite being at loggerheads over many issues at home, the DA has backed the Ramaphosa government's stance of still wanting to strike a trade deal with the US, saying that it will be mutually beneficial for the two countries.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
$36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka-charge mo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Fiskali radikali.
Japanese,
$4 trilhão.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.